Hey guys, it is week 8 of Super Rugby Aotearoa and it is getting to the business end. There's 3 weeks left, so teams really want their victories at the end of this season. So for any other competition, you would probably say this is a straightforward game. The top versus bottom, the top will probably get an easy victory, but this isn't what happens here. The Chiefs are very desperate to get a victory. You can just see they're not a bad side from those 5 losing bonus points from their 6 games that they have played. They've been in it every single game. Watching a Chiefs play is like watching your grandpa open a jar of pickles. You hate seeing him struggle, but you just want to see how long it takes him. Guys, it is going to be a difficult one here. To add to the desperation of the Chiefs, their crowd is just as desperate. The Waikato fans, I just think they don't want that grandpa to struggle with that jar of pickles for long anymore. It's going to be a brutal affair. There's light rain that is expected for this one, so maybe not the flashiest of games, but I think that does help the Chiefs in this one. That makes the Crusaders maybe not as lethal as always, if you can say that. Ben O'Keefe is the referee for this one, and he's made quite his fair share of interesting calls so far in the recent weeks. The last head-to-head wins, 4 out of the last 10 has went to the Chiefs, which is pretty good record against the Crusaders, to be honest. 2020 though, February they played against the Crusaders as well. The Chiefs actually won by 10 points. In June, earlier in this season, the Crusaders won by 5 points, so it's been close. This game is going to rely heavily on set pieces. Up front, the Crusaders, they have Bauer that comes in for the All Blacks front rower, Joe Moody. While the Chiefs, they have the same front row as last week. That's been doing fine. I think they haven't really struggled as much as some of the other teams. The second row for the Crusaders have really struggled, especially last week. I think they had a 50% record with Dunshay and Whitelock. Whitelock is playing his 150th game for the Crusaders, and would you bank them to have a second off week in the line-out time? I wouldn't. It's the Crusaders, so especially with Whitelock on his 150th. The Chiefs' line-out has also not been brilliant so far, with a lot of injuries testing their depth in that position. Loose forwards, Boshia has gotten back to his influential form that we know him for, making turnovers in the crucial parts of the field when it looks like the other team is going to score. Sam Cane, he was a big tackling machine last weekend for the side, though his captaincy abilities might be questioned with some strange calls there at the end of the game that probably cost them the game. Yes, referee calls and that stuff, but he picked a scrum in the middle of the field with the other team having a yellow card in the back line. He could have probably scored a try and won that game. Both Christie and Sanders has been in good form for the Crusaders. Sanders, he just has the tendency to give away a penalty, the odd penalty every now and then, which the Chiefs might try and capitalize on in this game. The back lines, the Crusaders put in Drummond at number 9. This question is for Crusaders fans. Which scrum half is your better one? Because to me, as a South African, I always think it is Bryn Hall. He's quicker, he does spread the ball much quicker than Drummond, but Drummond does have the tendency to score a try every now and then for the team, and with that brilliant supporting lines he does run. So let me know your thoughts as a Crusaders fan. Cruden, he is back in the Chiefs side at number 10 for his 100th game, and he rejoins Weber and in that 9-10 combo. I still say they didn't really do that badly with Trask at number 10. Cruden has a tendency to get smashed all the time by defense, so the defense of the opposition is very, very shallow, which puts his line a bit under pressure, and at the end of the day, the line isn't as lethal as it should be. He's up against Mahunga, who's just dangerous all over the park. After this season, I doubt there's going to be any guys questioning his ability to get that All Blacks number 10 jersey. He deserves it full out. Goodhue, he's been quite quiet at number 12 for the Crusaders, while Nankivell and Anton Leonard-Brown, they are rekindling their love story in the center of the park for the Chiefs, getting back to what they were in a couple of years ago in that midfield. I do like Anton Leonard-Brown at number 13. I have said it before. He does have a very good defensive line he runs at number 13. Damien McKenzie versus Will Jordan is going to be an interesting one at the two number 15s. It is probably the current and near future versus the future of the All Blacks, both loving their attacking lines that they run. Jordan, he's probably more lethal at the moment, but can't say Damien McKenzie isn't lethal. It's just he doesn't get the gaps he does need to do those lethal runs. On the benches, the Chiefs will be happy to bring back Ta'avao for the scrummaging, Akoi for his lineouts, and further than that, it's probably just Takiaho who's really real firepower for them from the bench. The Crusaders, their reserves front row has been doing just as well as the other one that's been starting for them. Makaleo, Tungafasi and Jaeger are quite good for them, and then Hall will bring impact at the number 9 position. The Crusaders, they are obvious favourites for this one and will look to get back to a bigger lead in the standings after that shock of loss to the Hurricanes last weekend. The Chiefs, they are just playing for pride at this moment. They've been in it in any game so far. They've been very, very close, and we know that they can actually get to victory. There is a chance for an upset in this one, I do think so, with the Chiefs winning by the narrowest of margins though. But for me, I think the Crusaders will just survive the storm at the end, score a try just to get that lead and kill off the game, and probably win the game by 8 points. Guys, let me know your prediction for this game down in the comments below. If you do like the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you have any other ideas for the game, let me know in the comments below, and then I'll check you for the next one. Cheers.